Indecision is still a decision, but not the one that builds wealth. Welcome to another episode of Wealth and Wisdom with Engineer Dr. Darlington Ugota. Today we shall be looking at the consequences of indecision in wealth creation. Indecision is when you cannot decide what to do, even when you need to. It is the inability to make firm and timely decisions. Indecision is more dangerous than failure because in failure, lessons are learned, but in indecision, nothing is learned. So you just end up wasting your destiny. There are several things that can cause indecision. One is fear of failure. It is important to know that failure is part of the process. Once you fail, you learn your lessons, and of course, you should know that in the journey of wealth creation, there's always room for improvement. Another cause of indecision is lack of knowledge. The truth is that you cannot give what you don't have. You see, it becomes very difficult to make a decision if you don't have an idea of what the whole thing represents. It is important to note that knowledge brings clarity, right? Clarity breeds confidence. Confidence bets action, and action builds wealth. Other causes of indecision include, but not limited to, inferiority complex, having so many options to choose from, and of course, wanting to get things perfectly done. In the journey of wealth creation, it is better to have it done than to hope to get it perfect, because there is always room for improvement. One of the things that have made a lot of people not to go into entrepreneurship is waiting for the perfect time. It is important to note that there is no perfect time, because as you wait longer, opportunities are gone. So these are even some of the consequences of this indecision, because opportunity does not wait forever. One of the major consequences of indecision is that it leads to loss of opportunities. The window of investment is not always open forever. While you are delaying to take action, some other persons have taken actions and already enjoying a very high return on their investments. Indecision can also lead to financial paralysis, because the opportunities you fail to be part of are things that naturally would have made you to make more money, but because you are delaying, because you have refused to take action, you miss such opportunities, and that can affect your finances. Another consequence of indecision is that it could make you to see fear as wisdom. A lot of persons, when they cannot make decision on a particular thing, they want to put it like they are trying to be wise. It is important to establish that not taking action in the name of wisdom is actually fear in disguise. Another consequence of indecision is that it could lead to lack of confidence. You see, when you are no longer confident about yourself, about the brand you represent, about the things you do, I don't think you will expect another person to have confidence in you. So in the journey of wealth creation, boldness is a key. It's a word you have to represent at all times. Indecision can also lead to loss of legacy. Every decision you fail to take has a direct effect on the legacy you want to leave behind, either for yourself, for your family, or for your community. So it is important that you let go those fears and then embrace what is on ground and move forward. Do not wait for the perfect time to start. Starting small, building more knowledge of what you're doing can also help you, to be well established. There is nobody that wakes up to be a professional. You start somewhere. So step by step, you will get there. Remember that wealth cannot wait. Wisdom cannot hide, but indecision can make you to miss it too. There are several ways to avoid indecision, and one of those ways is education. It is good to know that indecision thrives in ignorance. So the more equipped you are with the basic knowledge of what you want to do or where you want to go or what you want to go into, the better decision you make. The people you associate with is also a very big factor. And this is why it is good to tell you to, as much as possible, keep company of people who share, the same mindset that you have. Because the people you associate yourself with, can go a very long way in determining the kind of decisions you make and the way you see things. There's actually nothing that is not possible. But when you associate with people who see everything as a threat, it will be difficult to even have that mindset that anything is possible. If you look at the way you started as a person from the days of primary school to date, who could have believed that somebody at some point would be able to even make, good sentences, write a lot of things, and be able to create wealth? It is in starting that you get to know this. There is nothing that is not possible if only you make up your mind and you're ready to do so. And then another factor is having confidence. Any confidence without the right knowledge is pride. So it is when you have the right knowledge that you become confident of what to do. Take for instance, I'm into real estate. Imagine coming to boldly talk about real estate when I don't even have knowledge of what real estate is about. You see, it's pride in a way. That boldness is pride. So, but when you equip yourself with the right knowledge, you definitely have confidence because you're telling people what you already know and what you have experienced. Another thing is, as an entrepreneur, as a young person, you need to have mentors. Surround yourself with mentors. One of the major things that entrepreneurs have suffered in Nigeria, especially those coming up, is lack of mentorship. You see, there's always need for one to seek counsel from those who have gone ahead. That way, you will not even suffer yourself to make decisions because it is easier to establish whatever you want to establish, having known that the road you want to take, a lot of persons have gone through there. Every business owner that wants to succeed must create room for imperfection because it is part of the process. And this is also one of the ways you can reduce, indecision, because when you understand that, imperfection is part of what you're doing, you improve as you make progress. Discipline is a key factor in combating indecision. The reason is because discipline helps you to be more focused. And when you're more focused in the things you do, it will reduce a lot of distractions. And most distractions come as options. And when you have too many options, it causes confusion. In all, make up your mind, to take that bold step, because that is the only thing that is remaining. By the time you take the bold step, every other thing falls in place. Do not be afraid of how it will go. It will definitely go well. Because a lot of persons who have gone ahead of you today were once at a crossroad like this, and the only thing that helped them was making the right decision. Remember, wealth does not wait. Wisdom does not hide. But indecision can make you to lose the boat.